Today I wanted to talk about why I avoid teaching themes around Disney, comic book heroes, really anything, fairy tales or anything like that in my kids' yoga classes. Now, of course, I do 100% see the value, the creativity and the fun in teaching around fairy tales and teaching, discussing movies and really anything creative. I definitely enjoy and fully appreciate that and discussing it with children and see so much value, especially in things like fairy tales. They can really learn a lot from it, depending on the fairy tale. But in kids yoga, I just really believe that we should teach all aspects of yoga. So not just the physical side and not just the breathing, not just the mindfulness techniques, but also teaching them the fundamental principles and, most importantly, the philosophy of yoga and maybe some of the history of yoga and the Hindu myths that are weaved into the yoga practice as a whole. A lot of the traditional poses that we teach children have a connection to a Hindu myth, a Hindu story. A lot of them are named after Hindu gods and goddesses. So I really feel that if we're teaching yoga, that we should teach all aspects of yoga to children, including the history and the philosophy. And so a great way to do that is through the theme. So the topic of the class, instead of teaching, instead of theming it around, let's say, a Disney movie or a Pixar movie that the children really love, yes, I agree, it's a great way to get children engaged, but why not teach them about ahimsa, which is the first yama in one of the first 8 limbs of yoga. Ahimsa is non-harming, non-violent communication, non-judgment. In young children's terms, it would be compassion, kindness, love. So why not teach them about that? We shouldn't underestimate their ability to absorb all of this information, absorb all the knowledge and the wisdom of the traditional philosophies and practices. And we do want to teach them about these fundamental practices and concepts such as non-attachment, non-harming, cleanliness of the mind, purification of the mind. So we do want to teach them all of these fundamental concepts. So we can use our topics, our class themes, weave those in rather than teaching them about movies. Yes, we could theme a class around Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That would be very fun. It's definitely a fun class. It would definitely be a fun movement class where we can make our bodies look like all the different things in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and maybe we can do the chocolate meditation, and maybe we can, visualize ourselves, winning the golden ticket. But to me, and yes, this is just my opinion, but for me, that is movement, that is a visualization around a fun theme. It's around a book, it's around a movie, but I don't feel that we're really teaching all aspects of yoga, and I don't think we are maximizing our classes when we are teaching themes like that. If we are teaching around themes such as Saucha, let's say, which again is a niyama, which is purification or cleanliness of the mind, the body, the environment, the energy. So for the younger children, we can really take that to the basics of just being healthy, having a healthy mind and body. And how do we keep our mind and body clean and healthy? And then for the older children and the teens, we really can talk about this concept of purifying our mind, clearing our mind, cleaning our mind through meditation, through breathing techniques, clearing our energy through certain movements and flows and visualizations. So that is just my opinion. I'm always interested to hear everyone else's opinions. I do also theme a lot of my classes around nature. I think it is very important to keep children connected to nature, especially now, a lot of children don't get as much time as we would like them to have in nature. They're kind of disconnected from it. And so, it's not that they necessarily don't want to be in nature, but sometimes they don't have the time. Children are so busy these days, especially in certain countries and cultures. It's very busy schedules, so they don't actually get time to be out playing and connecting with nature. So in our kids yoga classes, we can use that time to connect them with nature. So bringing nature into the classroom, but also theming our classes around nature. What's going on in the natural world? How can we take care of nature? How are we connected to nature? How are we part of nature? And so really educating them on that side of things. And I also personally teach a lot of Hindu mythology, as I mentioned. I definitely use books and storytelling because I think it is such an essential part to children's learning, how they learn. So I definitely bring books and storytelling into my kids yoga classes, but I would choose books that again relate back to some sort of concept or practice that we might be able to share with them about yoga. As an example, with the younger children, I might choose a book like Eric Carle's The Very Quiet Cricket, which fundamentally is a book that is about perseverance and patience. And so we can definitely link that back to the yoga practice and link that back to certain aspects of yoga philosophy or yogi lifestyle. So yes, books, definitely nature, and anatomy. Anatomy is a really great one. Again, with the younger children, we can explore just things like, what do our hands and feet do? How can we move our bodies in certain ways? How do we explore our bodies? And how can we be creative with our bodies? And then with the older children, and then moving up into the teens, we can go more complex. The anatomy of the breath, the anatomy of the brain. How is our body and our brain affected by mindfulness? What are the effects of certain meditations on our nervous system? So getting them to explore and experiment with that. Again, that is, I would say, related back to yoga, as it is all about self-knowledge, understanding ourselves, who we are, how exploring and being curious about ourselves, going inwards physically, but then also going inwards with regards to the mental and the emotional body, and perhaps even the energetic and spiritual body, depending on where you're teaching, who you're teaching, and how you decide to teach. So yes, leave me a comment below and let me know, what are your favorite themes to share with children and teenagers in your kids yoga classes? Have you taught yoga philosophy? Do you bring that into your classes with children and teenagers? So just leave a comment below, because it is always fun to hear from everybody. And if you do love to teach about movies, about different books, what are your themes? Just let us know why and what you love about that, and how the children respond to your classes. As I say, it's always great to hear, and this is just my opinion and my suggestions, and I'm always experimenting with other people's opinions and perspectives, for sure. And if you are not really sure how to theme a class, how to sequence a class, how to manage a class, then I have a free kids yoga class plan, actually 2 kids yoga class plans in my bio, or I'll put the link if you're watching this on Facebook. And that's based around the theme of community, which again I think is very important in yoga. Community is a really big part of yoga lifestyle. So you can get those right now for free, and it includes printable resources and meditation scripts as well. And the 2 lesson plans are for the younger children, so 3 to 7 years old, and then a lesson plan also for the 8 to 11-year-olds. So go ahead and get those, even if you're just going to use them for some inspiration, or to see what I'm talking about if you're not really sure how you could theme a class around something like community. Go and take a little look at those. And if you want to go deeper and you've already got the free class plans and you want a little bit more, I am offering 100 class plans, plus 2 meditation script books and 5 workshops on how to grow and succeed in your kids' yoga business. And you can get all of that now on a monthly basis, and you can try the first month for $5 or £4 if you are in the UK, or about €4 if you're in Europe. And again, you can find that through the link in my bio. So go and get the free one, or go and get many more plans and all of the workshops for just $5. And yes, make sure you leave us a comment below and let us know how your kids' yoga classes look. How are the themes and the topics that you explore with your yogis of all ages?